Welcome to the post Geekout reaction. He's actually behaving. I thought that was gonna scare the crap out of him. No, you took that like a champ. Alright. We should have named him Champ. He looks like a champ. Oh, buddy! No! Oh, I popped you on the nose with my elbow. I'm sorry.
This is the worst intro ever.
By the way, we didn't rehearse that. She just instantly knew to go into ba-da-da-da-da-da. Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
And I'm Michelle.
And this is our post Geekout reaction for the second season of Attack on Titan. Oh, by the way, this is Cosmo.
Yes.
Hey, buddy. Oh, you're up now. Good.
Yes.
He's got the hiccups right now. So
I think
you
they
might
stopped.
see. Okay. I think we scared him with that opening. Scared out of him. Yeah, you don't know what's going on right now. Finally, I can sit back. Jeez. I was trying not to crush this poor guy. But yes, for anybody who has not seen a post Geekout reaction for, it is not a review. This is just our open, honest discussion about the thing that we just watched. And typically we only do movies on this, but you guys have been really enjoying the ones we've been doing for television shows. In fact, those tend to get more views. Problem is, I have to sit and watch 12 to 26 episodes to do one of these for a TV show. But also, you guys have been asking me to talk way more about anime. I constantly get people on Twitter telling me, dude, you need to talk about more anime. That was an actual tweet I got. So, here you go. This is like one of the biggest animes out there. We don't watch a lot of anime, although we kind of go through like waves of anime where it's like, I'm not watching anything for now. Now I must watch all the things. And we're kind of in the middle of one of those. But yeah, Attack on Titan, we loved the first season. Like the rest of the world, we were blown away by it. By the way, I just noticed. There we go. Sorry, this show is not professional in any way, but that's the appeal of it. So, yeah, we were absolutely blown away by season 1, and we've been waiting like everyone else for 2 years for season 2. I'm going to go ahead and say this. I like this season. This is a good season. We're going to talk about the positives. This was not worth 2 years. Yeah. At least not for me. I don't know if you thought it was.
And it's like, the thing is, the first season, they built up a lot of suspense, and it was really great. Second season, it just kind of like...
It was a lot of stuff being thrown at you.
Yeah, basically.
But it was a lot of stuff being thrown at you, like,
that you
without progressing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even want to say that. I don't want to say it doesn't progress anything, because we do learn some big important stuff.
Yeah, but it's like stuff we weren't hinted at in the first season.
Well, like, I guess, yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't really feel like payoff. It just feels like, here you go. It's like, oh, I don't really feel like I went on a journey to this discovery. It feels like I just got this stuff right in my face.
Yeah, it's like the first season, like, the big mystery is, like, what the key around Aaron's neck and go
finding out. Oh my god, that didn't come back at all this season.
Yeah, exactly. It's
that
like,
just hit me.
Yeah, it's like... Yeah, it's like, oh, it's second season, we're gonna find out what's in the basement, we're gonna find out what the origins of the Titans, and, oh, no, we just find out...
We find out who... Well, here's the thing. I wasn't expecting to learn the origin of the Titans, and we did get some... I figured that's gonna be something that's gonna take forever.
Well, yeah, but, like, one step in that direction.
We did get one step. We find out they're humans, so we did get that. And that actually was the one thing that I felt they actually, like, took their time to reveal to us. But, like, who the Colossal Titan is, and who the Armored Titan is, that gets revealed in a way that actually made me go, this is a joke, right? Not because I couldn't buy who they were, but because they revealed it in a way in which it's like, you are aware this is one of the biggest things in this entire show, and you're revealing it just like, yeah, so anyway, here's the deal.
Yeah, it's like the background.
It literally was happening like in the background while characters were walking away, and there was like no dramatic music or anything. And I think the feeling that they were going for was they wanted to make it feel like, yeah, these people are just walking away. It's like, they wanted to give that feeling almost like if this was happening to you in real life. There'd be no dramatic music. People would be just casually talking aside. Like, the suspense was there for you to provide. It's like, yeah, dude, no. This is Attack on Titan. It's meant to be the most big, epic, crazy stuff out there. It's like, this should have been like a boom, like, big music blaring that, like, focuses in, like, do that weird Jaws effect where the guy moves forward but the background moves further away. It's like, yeah, do something like...
Or like a close-up of, like, Aaron's eyes and there's just pupils are shaking.
Yeah, they love that shot, but they didn't bring it into this. Like, Like, yeah, it got revealed in a way that honestly made me go, that's not real. No. So yeah, but to me, the thing that kept the season from feeling quite as big and epic is that season 1 took its time. Mm-hmm. There were episodes that took place over the course of like that one long battle happening in town. That was several episodes in a row. However, it didn't really hit me until today. All of season 2 happens within 24 hours.
Yeah.
That's the thing that really bugged me the most. Is like, okay, we've spotted some Titans. We're gonna go out there to figure out what's up with the Titans. We're walking around, can't find anything. We're stationed in this castle. She's a Titan. Next morning, they're Titans. They take Eren into the woods. They chase after him. They fight. That's all the season. I was like, that really feels like the kind of thing that could have been over the course of like 5 episodes. Mm-hmm. Like 12, like I saw so many people after like episode 3 or 4 coming in and complain saying nothing has happened yet. It took 2 years to get to this. Nothing has happened yet. I was like, I won't go that far. Stuff has happened. Granted, it's like backstory stuff on Sasha, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'd be more fine with this if I didn't have to wait 2 years for this. But you know, it was alright. I don't know if I would have dedicated an entire episode to her. But you know, we're getting some hints of stuff, and you know, the Titans, and we met that Beast Titan. The Beast Titan was cool. Mm-hmm. But when I hear people say nothing happened, I think what they were complaining about was, why hasn't Eren turned into the Titan yet? I think that's what they were complaining. It's like, we've been watching this for 3 episodes now, Eren still hasn't become the Titan. I was like, okay, yeah, you know, guys, chill out. Take your time. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fine. They're building up to it. Plus, we got a whole season left. It's so, man, it's weird to me because, like, if I watch this, typically, like, the first season was 26 episodes long. This was only 12 episodes, which is weird because typically anime is 13 episodes or 26 episodes for a season. Yeah. So 12 episodes just feels odd. Yeah. But honestly, like, if I had just watched this, and this was like the end of part 1 of season 2, and they're gonna take a month or a 2-month break, and then they're coming back for the rest of season 2, I'd be like, oh man, that was a good first half of the season. But it's like, no, this was the entire season. And yeah, it's not that cool stuff didn't happen. It's just that not enough cool stuff happened to be worth a 2-year build-up, I think. Yeah. And it, as I said, the fact that it all happens over 24 hours just feels so weird to me. That, like, it kind of keeps it from feeling as epic as it should. It doesn't feel like we progress the story as much as we should. Because there's, like, think about season 1. Season 1, you get introduced to this world. The Titans attack that town. Eren and Mikasa and Armin grow up and they're training and you meet all the other people they're training with. Then it's day 1, the Colossal Titan attacks, oh my gosh, that's huge. Then they go out there and it's several days of them attacking and oh my gosh, there's a Titan that's helping us. What's going on here? Holy cow, it's Eren. They have to confront the other guys who want to kill him, but then he works on their side. Then they spend a couple days studying that 2 other Titans that they kidnap, and then they go into the woods, and there's a female Titan, and she seems smarter. What's going on with that? Oh my god, Levi's being a total badass. What is Levi doing here? He is insanely cool, and now he's cleaning stuff. Oh, that Levi over there. And then you have to figure out who the female Titan is, and holy cow, it's what's-her-face, the girl who looks exactly like the female Titan. Sorry, I forget the name. But then they end up going out at each other and brawling, and holy cow, and then you got that awesome moment with Mikasa taking him down. That's all the stuff that happens in season 1. Now, in all fairness, season 2 is only half the number of episodes, but, okay, there's some Titans out there. We can't figure out where they came from. She's a Titan. They're Titans. Kidnap Eren. Get him back. It does, yeah, it's like, granted, I'm kind of playing it down a little bit. There is some cool stuff in there. But yeah, man, it's just like, it's not nearly enough.
Yeah, it's like, the thing is, like, the Titans were kidnapped Eren to, like, take him back to their home, so I was like, oh, so we're gonna see where the Titans live. Oh, that'll be interesting, and, we never got there.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's like, here's the thing. If this had been the first half of the season, I'd be fine with stopping that, and then there's the mystery of where did they live. Yeah. But the fact that now I'm like, oh god, now I gotta wait for this thing. And also, like, I just mentioned how much of a badass Levi was in season 1. Levi is not in season 2.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, they had, like, a lot of great characters, but main focus in like season 2 was just Aaron and Bertold and
it was the main focus was Emir and Historia.
Yeah,
which is cool. I like that. I thought all that stuff was good. I want everybody to be clear. Aside from the reveal of who the Colossal Titan and the Armored Titan were, which by the way, it's not even that who they are is a bad reveal. It's just the way that they revealed them. Aside from that, I don't think there's anything bad in this season. There just ain't enough for me to go, yeah, that's a worthy season 2. And part of it is that there just weren't enough episodes. But it's like, if you're going into this and you know that there's not going to be as many episodes, yeah, I don't understand that. I honestly don't. I honestly don't understand how you have 2 years to go into this and you, like, sit down and go, all right, we're only going to have half as many episodes and it's going to take us 2 years to make that. That just doesn't seem, man, I don't want to say that doesn't seem fair because then I seem like a big whiny baby coming in here and going, well, you owe us that because I was entertained by season 1. It's like, you don't owe me crap. You provide me with free entertainment.
Well, it doesn't add up, I guess another way would say.
It's one of the things, yeah, it doesn't add up. It's like, why are there not more episodes? Because it's like, we're watching My Hero Academia season 2 right now. It took them like 6 months to go from season 1 to season 2. And it's like, I think there's going to be even more episodes in season 2 than there were in season 1. So it's just one of those things where it's like, this really took you, that's it. It's just the disappointment is like, this took you 2 years. And I saw the Attack on Titan Twitter feed earlier today. They actually tweeted out, oh, we're not done. Season 3 coming 2018. I was like, no shit, you ain't done. No, don't come in here and it's like, oh, you thought it was all wrapped up. It's like, no.
No, we obviously knew it wasn't.
We're sitting, yeah. I act the way that Cosmo does when we feed him. He eats it all up, and then he looks at it and goes, where the hell is the food? Whereas at the end of season 1, I was full. At this one, I was like, this was not a full meal. There was no appetizer, there was no dessert, and my main course was missing its side. The main course itself was good, but that's not the meal that I paid for. It's like going to a big fancy restaurant. Wow, this is a perfect metaphor. There are those, I hate eating at big fancy restaurants where it's like, oh, there's a waiting list for this many months in order to get on there. Because like, I've actually gone to those restaurants before.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, my dad is like a big foodie. Like we literally went to like a food tour of like the West Coast. And we went to like a place where we had to get like a reservation months in advance. And I ate there and I went, this was not worth that. It's good. But are you fucking kidding me? You paid how much for this? No. I had lobster here. I got the same. It's slightly butterier than the ones at Red Lobster. That's all that. This is not worth that. That's what this is. That's exactly what this was. It's a fancy restaurant that provides great food, but there's very small portions and there's a long ass waiting list on there. It ain't worth it, man. This was not worth that buildup. And honestly, they say it's coming 2018. That better be January 2018, because this ain't even worth another 6 months of waiting for. But okay, I think that's all the saltiness I want to get out here. The saltiness for this, like I said, aside from how they revealed those 2 Titans, which was just a what moment, aside from the way that they did that, all my saltiness for this season just comes from the lack of content. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that that's all we got. And it's not a situation in which it's like, oh, well, they left me wanting more. It's like, no, they didn't leave me wanting more because it was so delicious I just needed more. They left me wanting more because that was not a complete meal. But aside from that, yeah, I really freaking dug this season. And I went into it with lowered expectations because I have a friend who is a huge anime fan. And I remember I was working with him when season 1 of this show like just wrapped up, and we were all talking about it at our store. Like all of us were talking about it. And then he was excited too. Like he was loving it too. But then like a month later, he came back after reading all the manga after that point. It was like, this thing gets dumb. Like he just came in and warned me, this thing starts to suck. And I was like, what? Which that's the thing. He either absolutely loves stuff or he absolutely hates stuff. Like, he is very much on those 2 sides. So I was like, you know what, I bet it's just kind of disappointing. I guess it's not as good as what we had already seen, so he might be swinging towards that. But at the same time, as I was watching this, in the back of my head this whole time, I was like, when is this going to start sucking? When's it gonna get bad? And it's like, okay, so it didn't happen yet. However, he did go ahead and tell me some stuff that's going to happen, and the stuff that he told me is going to happen wasn't in this season. So when season 3 comes out, I am going to go into season 3 like, okay, is this the one where it starts to get bad? But so far, I'm still totally digging this show.
Yeah.
I'm still really loving this show. So let's go ahead and actually talk about some of the stuff that goes on here. Like they have the episode in which Sasha like shows her backstory. It's like, that's cute, but I don't need backstory for Potato Girl. Potato Girl is adorable, but I don't need her to have depth. She's like, yeah, you got a lot of characters in here. You gotta space out these episodes. You don't need to dedicate an episode to her. But I had kind of started to have my suspicions about what the Titans could possibly be, because we had already seen 2 humanoid Titans.
Yeah.
Like, we'd already seen Aaron and whatever the other girl was. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting.
Is it Annie or something?
Annie. It was like Annie Leonhardt. I can remember the last name, but it's like Annie. That was it. So we'd already seen them. So I was like, okay, so, all right. So it's possible. There's definitely going to be other humanoid ones. Mm-hmm. And definitely the colossal one and the armored one. Like, you could tell they were going to be people. In fact, I would have guessed that the one that ate his mother was probably a human too, some other character. I wasn't expecting them to be members of the team, and I find it very weird that when Ymir turns into a Titan as well, that was kind of a weird moment, because I was like, that is another problem I kind of started having with the show, is that I stopped there and went, wait a minute, how many cadets are there? And 5 of them now are Titans? Like, that's almost like half the characters we know on the cadets are Titans. That's just very odd to me. It's not quite half, but it's higher than a third at this point. So yeah, that's just kind of odd to me. Also, I'll go ahead and say, another thing that I flat out did not like is that they kind of reveal that, God, what's his name? I've got all the names down here because I knew I was going to forget them. But they reveal that the Armored Titan, not him, Reiner. They revealed that, I should have remembered that because it reminds me of Reinhardt. But they reveal that he's basically got split personalities. Like, not really split personalities.
Like, when he's in Titan form, like,
he's like a warrior. Like, I think the way they described it is, he's a warrior and a soldier. And, like, the soldier side is the one that's on the cadets. And he's like, okay, I'm friends with all these people. Like, he actually starts talking to Aaron, like he's basically just going to go back to his day-to-day life. Mm-hmm. Like, none of this really matters. Like, it's almost like he is aware of what's happening, but he's not aware of what it means.
Yeah.
And then he switches over to the warrior side when he's the Titan, and he's just like, yeah, okay, I know what I have to do, and I'm going to go ahead and do this. And they basically just kind of say, like, yeah, it's kind of like a defense mechanism. Basically, it's just his way of, like, dealing with all this, because he has to suppress the knowledge of the ramifications of his actions. Is basically what it was. And I was like, that's a cheap explanation. Because the whole time, like, after he revealed that he was the Armored Titan, I just kept sitting there like, no, you're not. Because that doesn't match up with the way that you behave at all. And we just saw you in that castle when the other Titans were attacking, and we saw the way that you behaved there, and we saw the way that you reacted to Ymir when she turned into a Titan. It's like, this doesn't match up at all. And then they address that, and it's just something, oh yeah, he suppresses that stuff. That's a cheap-ass answer. I'm sorry, that's cheap. So, okay, that's another thing I didn't like. I'll go ahead and say it. But, I thought it was pretty darn good and creepy when they get to Connie's village, and there's the giant Titan that has the tiny little limbs, so it can't move. And it kind of says, welcome home to him.
Yeah.
And, like, in that moment, I was just kind of like, okay, I know what's going on here. Mm-hmm. But it's basically, and also because they were like, oh, there's all these Titans around, but there's no break in the wall. It was kind of in that moment in which I was like, okay, so these Titans that are attacking right now are human. But it did lead me to ask the question, and nobody spoil this, because I'm sure it says this stuff in the manga. I'm sure it explains it, but nobody spoil anything. We're only talking in terms of people who've only seen the anime.
Yeah.
Because I do want to wait and watch the actual anime, even if I have to wait until next year. But yeah, it did make me wonder, it's like, okay, so are all the Titans humans?
Well,
Because there's some Titans that are only like 7 feet tall.
like, I kind of have a theory, like people were like experimenting, so like they want to like combine Titan DNA with human DNA. So like there are just Titans, and then there are like Titans that are actually humans with like a thought process going on.
You see, that's the thing. I think that there are. That's my question. Are all the Titans the human Titans? And these were all just like experiments to begin with, because there's that weird ass ending sequence, like the ending of music, whatever you call it. Yeah, like
the ending theme,
the ending credits.
The ending credits.
Man, I don't know where my mind is today. But the images that play during that, it's clearly telling like the story of the origin of the Titans, and it looks like humans making some kind of a deal with the devil, and like you see like. When you go into Ymir's history, like she was pretending to be like a goddess to these people, and then they basically threw them into some kind of a volcano and it caused her to turn into a Titan. And I'm kind of wondering if it's like, maybe all the Titans are like people who got sent to hell, and this is just their punishment. Like maybe that's it. Because I mean, they're standing at the top of something that looks like fire is beneath them and throws them into it. But it might also be like just like a deal with the devil. Like maybe there were actual like devils once before, and these people had like demon blood put into them, and that's turning them into it. Because I definitely think there's something religious.
Absolutely, especially when you consider the what was it, the priest? Like he knew about the Titans in the wall, but he did not say anything about them.
You're right. It was the fact that it was a priest is very important. Yeah. And like Historia was being hunted by priests. I was like, there's something religious in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gotta be. Which I'm totally fine with that, because it's like, religion, like, monsters from religion are always kind of one of those, like, no, you don't touch that, because that's just, that's something sacred and you don't touch it. So whenever people touch it, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good and creepy. And I don't just mean, like, demonic possession. I mean, like, experiment with that. Like I said, if these are actual like things from hell that came from demon blood being controlled by priests, it's like, holy cow, that's really freaking cool. Kudos to you on coming up with something crazy like that. So yeah, I think that might be our best lead at the moment. Again, there are people who have read the manga and they're like, oh, you fools, it's not even close to that. It's like, I don't care. If I read any tweets or messages on Tumblr or anything that even begin with, actually, the Titans are... I'm just ignoring it completely. Like, I'm waiting. I want to see the surprise.
No spoilers.
Let's all ride this together, even though this is the spoiler discussion.
No future spoilers.
Don't spoil anything we couldn't possibly have seen on our own yet. Geez. Yeah, so it's... Man, my head is just kind of like trying to figure this all out, because that's the thing that gets me. If... the human, when they turn the Titan, they're in the back of the neck. They're in that one little spot of the neck. That's why you can only kill them by cutting off the neck, because that's where the human is residing inside of it. Which, that's the thing that gets me. If the humans actually do reside in there, whenever we saw that when the armored Titan like bit Eren, he actually pulled him out of there complete. It was fine. So does that mean that when the soldiers have been slicing it off, humans have just been landing in those chunks of skin that fall off, and then when the skin dissolves and fades away, the human just gets up and walks away just fine? It's
well, maybe they actually unintentionally cut the humans.
That's what I'm thinking, but then still, like, the human, like, would fall out of there. Like, even if they decapitate him to kill him or something, like, you'd still just have a headless human fall out of that thing, and, like...
Well, they're flying around in the air. I don't think they really have time to, like, look at...
When they're out in, like, the grassy knolls, it's like, yeah, I understand that, but when they're, like, when the Titans were actually attacking within the city... You figured that the people, when they were cleaning up, would go, why are there so many people just like that here?
Well, like, remember, like, the Titans kind of, like, they steam out. Like, they kind of fade away into steam after you kill them.
They do, but what I'm saying is, like, the napes of their neck, when they, like, cut them out and they fall on the ground, like, if the humans are in there, if the steam, like, faded away, wouldn't the human be inside there, like, perfectly fine? Like, I guess maybe if they killed them when they cut them out of there, like, the human, like, afterwards, they would just look at that, basically, and go, oh, I guess the Titan killed this person. Like, Or like the person survived when they fell out and then they just walked away and people were too busy fighting the Titans and those. Like, I guess so, but the other question I have is, and this is what makes me, and this is about to get real creepy, and it's the other thing that makes me think this has to be like something to do with like hell or something. If the human has to reside in the nape of the neck, in the back of the neck, I'm hoping I'm using the correct term there, in that back spot right there, why are there Titans that are literally only like 7 feet tall? They're like barely bigger than normal humans. Like there was that one big-headed one that it was like 5 feet tall. It was shorter than some humans.
You think it might be babies?
That's what I'm thinking. Because I remember when I was growing up and going to church, and one of the things that creeped me out the most is that idea that like if you die before you're baptized, then you instantly like go to purgatory or you go to hell. And I was like, what if it's like unbaptized babies that died and like just went to hell and now they're the tiny Titans? Like, yeah, you're getting real messed up.
Yeah.
It's real disturbing, isn't it? But like that's the only explanation I can come up for, because like a full-grown person could not fit in like the back of a 7-foot tall person. That's the only thing that I can think of. And like, I mean, the one that Sasha fought, it literally was just like, boop, that's it. It's like, yeah, like I could jump up and punch that thing in the chin. Like that's how big it was. Like, nah, man, you can't fit like a full-grown person.
Well, like Ymir's Titan, she wasn't all that big either.
No, but like the head and the body was big. But even still, like, it's like, she was still like a good like 20 feet tall. It was just she was crouched over.
Yeah.
So she still had like a big body. But still, seriously, there was that one like big one with the googly eye things in like the first couple episodes that kept popping up. It's like, yeah, man, that thing was maybe 7 feet tall at most. Like, and again, the one that Sasha fought, its neck was maybe this thick. Like, nah, man, it can't be a full-size human. So that's the thing that's getting me about this. If they're all humans, then what's the explanation for that? But then again, that's one of the things that leads me to think maybe they're not all humans. Maybe they are the ones that are just like pure, like they're just big steam factory monster creatures. Maybe if they are science experiments, they're the ones that they tried to grow without humans of some kind. And that's why they weren't as big as the other ones. So maybe that's why they started experimenting on actual humans to create the really big ones. Jeez,
So like, the Beast Titan at the very end.
It's totally Aaron's dad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I actually, yesterday for us was Father's Day, and I actually tweeted out, happy birthday, happy Father's Day to all the dads in animes who are never there, but you know they have some crazy weird secret there, because that's 90% of all anime dads. And it's like, I tweeted that out because we just got done the day before that watching this, and like, you get that brief glimpse of him way out there, and he's got the shaggy hair and like the glasses, and it's like, I don't remember a lot about Aaron's dad, but I remember he had glasses. That's all I remember, so I'm like, plus, there's no importance to seeing that silhouette based on the characters we have known already in the show, unless it's Aaron's dad. It's like, yeah, man, it's... Again, Aaron's dad had the key to the basement, so I was like, alright, it makes sense, but man, I am getting tired of that trope. Man, I am getting tired of, well, yeah, I don't know my dad. Oh, he's some crazy, weird, powerful guy out there. Like, My Hero Academia, don't do that. You're so good at avoiding the tropes. You're so good at making me think you're going to fall into the tropes and then you do something different with it. Have it be that his dad, they just like got divorced and he just lives out in some other town. That's it.
Or make him a vigilante. I like
that. Actually kind of be cool. If he was just like, and not like a good vigilante, like kind of like a lame vigilante. Like he's just kind of like a joke hero or something. Like, that'd kind of be nice. But yeah, but enough about My Hero Academia. We will do a post-Geekout reaction for that though. Yeah. Now, the moment I saw that, I was just kind of like, I don't think that's bad because it fits with what we've seen so far, but it did just make me go, why are you playing?
Yeah.
Why you think that this is a surprise? Come on, man. That's the kind of thing that, honestly, if they had revealed it in that way, like they revealed the armor in the Colossal Titan, where they just didn't make a big deal about at all, that's the one time I would have been okay with it, because, like, yeah, dude, we all know this. It's totally obvious.
Like if they just like switch the way the
Oh, dude, like if at the end of this, like you never saw who the armored or the colossal titan was, but then at the end you saw them way off in the distance, and you saw like the silhouettes of those two guys there, and you may just go, yeah, we would have been psyched. We would have been going, that kind of looks like, is it just me or does that kind of look like those guys? Oh my goodness. But whereas this is like, okay, that doesn't look like anybody I know so far, but from what I vaguely remember from season 1, it's gotta be him, and just based on what I know about anime...
Yeah, dad's in anime.
It's him. It's totally him. I'm just cracking up, because it's like, I bet you thought that was gonna be a big old discussion, like, do you think it's like, no, it is.
No.
Not even a question. Again, there's probably some manga guy out there like, oh, when you learn who it actually is, you're way off. Yeah, but you thought that thing at first too, didn't you? Admit it. So yeah, but yeah, I gotta say, the first half of this season, I was kind of like, yeah, it's okay. I'm enjoying it. It's a slow burn, but that's when I thought this was gonna be 26 episodes.
Yeah.
So looking back at it now, I was like, okay, I guess I kind of have to agree that not enough happened in those first couple episodes. But when it actually starts going nuts, like the moment when Ymir actually revealed that she was a Titan, I was shocked.
Yeah.
Because none of the other, like, looking back on it, I probably should have guessed that Reiner was the armored one, because his hair and his face looked very similar to it. It's like, okay, yeah, Bertold, there's no way I would have gotten that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no skin.
He doesn't have hair, and he doesn't have like a distinct nose like Annie did. It's like, yeah, there's no way we would have gotten that one.
Other than the fact that he's tall, but...
Yeah, that's really it. Which I also kind of like that the Colossal Titan, he was like the biggest mystery. He was like, oh my goodness, he is the biggest threat of them all. How are we ever going to be able to face it? And then he's like the most quiet and calm guy in the group. And I'm like, okay, that's actually pretty cool. I actually kind of dig that right there. But Ymir, that was really shocking. And also, I gotta say, I'm digging the relationship between her and Historia. I actually, like, I don't think that they're putting that in there just to be like, oh, lesbian couple, oh, isn't that something? Like, you actually get the feeling like they actually genuinely care for each other. Although, man, Historia has just... The way that she just so diehard, like, instantly falls in line for Ymir is kind of a problem for me, because, yeah, Ymir, like, does care for her. You can tell that. But Historia finds out that, like, she's a Titan, and she then flat out tells her, I'm going to take you back to them and turn you in so that it saves me. And she's like, okay, well, you help me out, so I'm going to do it. I was like, no, you should ask for more details on this before you just agree to that. Like, but again, that's not me criticizing the show. That's me looking at the characters like, she has a messed up past.
Yeah.
If she is just, someone was nice to me, I am theirs forever now. It's like, yeah. Although that's kind of Mikasa's storyline too, now that I think about it. That was also another problem that I had, is right before the giant reveal that we will talk about in a moment, when Eren was like, I can't do anything, I'm helpless, how can I never stop this? When Mikasa basically then gave her whole speech about what he does, I think the speech is good. I like what she was saying, and like, yeah, she clearly has these feelings for him, so it's nice to see that come out, but it's like, she's the #1 badass of this whole show, and then it turns into instant, like...
She becomes Moe.
That's the word. It's like, this is almost disturbing.
It is.
And I'm not saying that in terms of like, well, Mikasa should not be represented that way at all. It's like, no, I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying it more like, she has been such a stone cold badass on this whole thing, and then she goes so Moe.
Yeah.
It's like watching a dog meow. Like, it was so weird.
No, and like, seriously, like, everything was in slow motion. Her eyes were all like bright and sparkly, just...
Super blushing. The eye sparkling is really what did it to me. That's the thing that really made me go, what
It was just
the
a complete 180. Like,
it was so weird. It really was. And it's like, don't get me wrong, what she said was good. The fact that she said it was good. Like, I understand that she has these feelings for him. That's perfectly fine. I get that. It's okay, good. Just, they play it off so much.
Yeah.
It's not like her just going like, no, listen, I have to be honest with you about how I feel, and all this is like, oh, Eren Senpai has noticed me. Like, oh my god.
I seriously thought that they were gonna kiss. It was that dramatic.
I would have preferred that they actually did, because it was like, don't go this far and then not do that. Like, that to me was kind of like, don't tease me this much with that and then not do it, alright? Like, I would prefer that they actually did it. Because then also, again, I don't think enough happened in this season. We find a big thing out about the Titans. We find the identity of 2 Titans. That's pretty cool. But as far as like actually progressing the characters, I don't feel like we got the full meal on that. So if they had actually kissed, I would be like, oh shit, a lot of stuff is happening. They're covering a lot of ground in these final couple of episodes. So yeah.
But then there's the big reveal.
The big reveal of... Okay, before we get into that, while we're still talking about Mikasa, Mikasa's one of the biggest badasses in anime right now. I loved when she like confronted Bertolt on top of the armored titan, and she's just like, I don't give a shit. It's like, oh, you were our friend, you lied to us, everybody else is trying to convince you to come back, I will gut you like a fish. You took my man. I do not care. Like, I loved how stone cold she was about that. That was awesome. Like, just seeing the level of ballistic rage in her eyes at that. And that was another thing that I dug about Bertolt, is like, everybody was like, how can you do this? Why are you making this way? Which that's a huge question. I want to make sure that I got this big question out. I almost forgot. But dealing with the Titans, how old are these characters? Because I thought that they were all about roughly, the dog saw a speck of dust and wants to chase after it. I thought they were all basically about the same age, which, you know, they're all like, I know they're like older than high school kids, which is unusual for anime. That's why I noticed it. But I was like, yeah, they're still like 18, I think, like something like that.
I think so.
I thought they were all roughly that. So does that mean that when Reiner and Bertolt attacked their village when Eren was a kid, they were only kids too? Well, or is it one of these things where it's like, because they make it sound like Ymir lived hundreds or thousands of years ago.
Well, I think that has to do with like the Titans. Like, I don't think like Titans necessarily age.
That might be it. Like, they
slow down the aging process.
Maybe something like that, because they also kind of made it sound like Ymir when she lived in that society where she was like a goddess. It made it sound like she, sorry, I'm watching the dog, make sure he doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he's fine.
It made it sound like that was like a civilization that existed before this civilization, which makes me think that like she was thrown into like that pit or whatever it was, and then she just was there for centuries or something, and then she awakened. But when she awakened, we saw Reiner and Bertolt as like younger versions of themselves then. So when did she awaken? And because clearly they're not from the same society then. If because she awakened in her Titan form when they were still like kids. So man, the timeline of this is getting weird. They're gonna have to just spend an entire episode when all this is revealed, just sitting down going, here's how everything works out. Here's the entire pace of this. So yeah, it does make me wonder, it's like, okay, when she attacked, were they Titans yet? If they were Titans yet, did they attack when they were kids? So yeah, that's another question that I have.
No idea.
Yeah, but I did like that, because that was the big question, is like, how in God's name could you do this? Like, why, like, you seem like good guys, why would you do this? And then he's just like, you think we like doing this? Like, when Bertolt actually, like, breaks down and he's just like, you think we like this? You think this is something that we enjoy doing? Why on earth would we enjoy killing? We don't want to be doing this. And I'm like, oh, shoot. And it's like, we know that Ymir has to take Historia back to, wherever it is they come from.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, so who's pulling the Titan strings? Clearly there was someone pulling their strings, but for what reason? Like, if Ymir, she wanted to go home. I was like, is that the thing for all the Titans? Like, yeah. And like, if they want to go home, then clearly all the Titans come from one specific place.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are good questions raised for the mystery of the Titans. But yeah, I just had to stop again and just point out that Mikasa's a badass. But yeah, then we get into the actual big reveal. when you see Aaron trying to fight the one that killed his mother, which I'm glad they brought that Titan back. Because I seriously was like, so that Titan die? Like, is that Titan still around? Like, what's going on with that Titan? Because it really seemed like you have to bring that back at some point. But I love watching that whole sequence in which I want to make sure that I get this guy's name right.
Hans?
Yeah. Was it Hans?
I think so.
Hans, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
But Hans, yeah, because he was like I remember in the very first episode, he was kind of like a drunk loser.
Yeah.
He was like lazy, so the fact that he came in and saved the kids, it was like great, but he didn't save the mother.
Yeah.
And I love this idea that's like over these years, that's weighed on him. That's actually been a problem for him. Like that's something that he's had to deal with too. It hasn't just been Aaron and the rest of his friends having to deal with that. Like he's always thought about like how he felt that. So I love that he got to go up against that Titan.
Yeah.
Like I love that he actually had to face down that Titan. But then when he died too, by the way, this entire season, I think another reason why people have said that not a lot happened was because in season 1, it really was that feeling of anybody can die at any time. And we didn't really have that feeling in this season.
Yeah.
But when it got into that final fight,
yeah,
the moment that commander guy, the one who was like, charge, just bam, he gets his arm ripped off. Holy cow.
Yeah.
That was the moment in which I was like, oh my god, I ain't thinking that was. By the way, I need to learn that commander's name because that dude is awesome.
Is it on the
It probably is on there, but it's like the fact that he gets his arm ripped off and then he keeps on going. Like that was the thing that got me about him. Is that this is gonna take me forever to try and find that guy's name, but you guys know who I'm talking about. Like the fact that he then comes back, like I was like, he's dead. Nope, he's still fighting with only one arm. That is awesome to me. But so yeah, that fight actually did have that feel of anyone can die, which is what an Attack on Titan fight sequence should feel like. Like I remember the big one for me was in season 1 when they were fighting the female Titan. And it was like, we're the elite guards. We're the best of the best. We're going to show you what we can do. Dead, 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 dead. And I'm like, damn. So yeah, we got to see a little bit of that when they were attacking the castle. Because again, there was like that squad that went out there and they died.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't have that feeling of like, okay, the characters I know and love could go at any minute now. But yeah, this one, that fight scene actually did have it. But then when Aaron actually, like, after he hears that, his hands like instantly heal back, and he punches the Titan. And which, by the way, I love that everything slowed down during that fight scene.
Yeah.
And you see the big Titan coming behind them as well. And I was like, dude, this really does give you that feeling of there's no way that they're going to win this. Like I figured he would like suddenly after hearing this turn into the Titan again.
Yeah.
And maybe he would gain some new power from that. Like, you know, he would get armored skin or something from it. Like,
or just like super strength and
he would
super
get
rage.
even stronger, yeah. He would get even angrier. He would turn green. But yeah, when he punched it, I was like, don't do something lame where like now he has Titan strength in human form. Don't do something lame where like he punches it with his normal fist and then like its arm goes flying off or like it boils up and explodes or something like that. And then the giant Titan that was coming from behind jumps on the one that killed his mom, and all the other Titans like look up and start running at him. I was like, oh, he's the Titan Whisperer. The guy who hated Titans more than anyone has the ability to control them.
He can become a Titan and he can control the Titans.
That's actually awesome. I thought that was damn cool.
And I feel like that makes more sense that the Beast Titan is his dad. Because the Beast Titan can control other Titans.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Which in the opening theme song, you see that moment of like all the animals on Earth running, including like dinosaurs and whales and stuff, and they've all got a glowing heart. And then you see the Titans have that too. Again, is that just something cool looking that you put in the opening, or is that actually something in here? Because then it's making me think, okay, is that like something about his power? Does that like connect to like are all living forms collected and like the Titans can like communicate with them or something? Like
I thought it was like more like a form of like evolution.
Maybe that actually, considering that there are dinosaurs in there, I can see that. So yeah, another big question. That one's in the opening theme, so it might have nothing to do with anything. So yeah, and you guys know me, one of my biggest complaints whenever we're talking about a story is Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
I always love to complain, it's like, well, the answer just came out of nowhere. Kind of feels like it does, but I have no problem with it in this, because when it comes to Deus Ex Machinas, the one rule about when you're allowed to use a Deus Ex Machina is when the characters have suffered so much, you're willing to let them have it. These characters, like, all the friends are dying around them, everyone's gonna go out, he's facing the one that killed his mom, and like the guy who tried to protect him as a kid just died and was killed by it too, and he's having the giant emotional breakdowns, like, give him the magic titan power. Screw saying it's a Deus Ex Machina, he earned it. You can earn a Deus Ex Machina, that's when it's allowed. He earned it, so I'm fine with that. Also, the way that his powers work, I feel like that also makes me think that some of these titans aren't human. Because, remember, he started sending the waves of titans after the one that killed his mom.
Yeah.
But you see Emir, Bertol, and Reiner, they all just kind of like, they feel it, but they don't go charging in.
Yeah, it's like basically like titans that are humans, like I said before, they have like a subconscious, like they can think for themselves.
Yeah, so which is what makes me think that that's what it is.
Yeah.
But that would also explain why these titans attack Reiner too. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, yeah, if you're all on the same side, why are you doing this? So yeah, that would make sense. So it makes me think it's got to be some kind of like a demon thing. And it's like all the wild titans out there are like demons of some kind. And the ones like Eren and Reiner and all them, they're demons who had they're humans who had like demon blood put in them or something like that. So yeah, man, this season raised so many questions. It is cool knowing that, which again, as much as I hate saying it, that kind of makes the big reveal at the end in which they go, we know that titans are now humans, kind of makes that a little bit worthless.
Yeah.
Because it makes you go, well, not all of them, only some of them. And you already knew that from last season. Like, it does kind of make that reveal not as impactful if you actually stop and think about it. Because when you stop and think about it, you realize, well, they can't all be titans. Yeah, because, I mean,
you can't all be humans, you mean?
You can't all be humans. Because, as I mentioned earlier, the science thing just doesn't match up unless it is, like, actually, like, babies or something. But then again, it's like, well, some of them just can't, some of them are just wild and just attack. But I guess it could be one of those things where it's like only the strong-willed ones can take control. Because remember when Eren popped up originally? He was going nuts. He was going ballistic. He had no control over himself.
Well, I think, like, I feel like that has to do, like, my theory of the evolution. Like, the more evolved titans are able to think for themselves.
Oh, so there's, like, stages of the action.
I think so.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, it's got to be something that makes... Because if they're all humans, then there has to be something that sets specific ones aside. Because also when Ymir first emerged, she just ate that random guy. And, like, she just ran non-stop until she finally was able to return to being a human. So it could just be that some of them get turned into titans and they have no control over it.
Yeah.
So I guess that, okay, so that does make that reveal a little bit better, because then it does mean that they are all humans. Except, again, the size thing is what gets me. Like, how can some of them exist like that? So yeah, as I said, I'm going to go back and repeat myself again, but I feel like this was a really good half season.
Yeah.
It's just, this doesn't feel like a full season, and it definitely was not worth 2 years. But if this had come out 1 year afterwards, and then, like, they said, end of part 1 of season 2, and then, like, even if you gave us, like, 4 months before you came back with another 12 episodes to wrap up season 2, then I would have been over the moon. I would have been like, this is amazing. But yeah, it's just so weird. Like I said, despite how many things happened, just simply the fact that, like, all this happened over the course of 24 hours in the story of this world, characters can't progress that much within 24 hours. You can't find out that much of the story. You can't learn that much. And hey, for 24 hours, they crammed a lot in there. But a lot of character progression is characters reacting to things that happened. And when you cram that much into 24 hours, you don't get enough time to react. Like, there was a ton of stuff that happened in season 1, and then they would stop and have people, like, discuss this stuff, kind of deal with what had happened.
Yeah.
The only time we really get that in this is in the final 2 minutes of the final season, which are like, we know they're all humans now. Dear God, we've been killing humans this whole time. And by the way, Aaron, you better be worth all those men we lost. And also, we think you're the one that controls those Titans. Go on to season 3. I was like, man, you needed, like, again, this would have been incredible if then we paused, gave them some time for season 3 to be, for the second half of the season to come on, and then the first, like, 2 episodes of the second half of season 2 was them just dealing with all that stuff. Then we kind of recharge a bit. Then, holy cow, the other shoe drops. Then we deal with all the other stuff going on. But yeah, because they had to reveal so much stuff to us, like, I don't even know the importance of Historia.
Yeah.
Like, why do I care about any of this? Like, you were just revealing massive stuff to me, but because so many other things were happening all at once, it's like, that's not really a thing.
Like, I know
and
her,
the key didn't even come in, and where the heck was Levy? It's like, this...
Like, I know her family is, like, in charge of the church or something,
Which is, yeah,
so...
again, makes me think this has got to be some religious stuff. This has to be, like, demons of some kind, but... Yeah, man, again, this just was not a full season to me. It just... I will go back to that metaphor, because it's the perfect metaphor. It's one of those big, fancy restaurants that you know serves good stuff, but the waiting list is too long and the portions aren't big enough. That's what this was. But again, that's making me sound like I hated all this stuff. I did.
No, it's very enjoyable.
I freaking really enjoyed what was here. More, please! Yeah. And again, I know it's like, oh, well, you're being like a spoiled brat by just asking for more on this. It's like, asking for a full season after 2 years is not being a spoiled brat. It's expecting your television series to deliver. So yeah, it's frustrating is all it is. It was a frustrating season because it was so good, but man, there needed to be more to make me really go nuts for it. I guess that's the best way I can say. It really is just kind of like, it really is rising up on the roller coaster, and then you go on one loop, and then that's it. It's like, why'd I stand in this line? Why'd I pay all this money for these tickets? Yeah, that's what it kind of is. Man. This had better not just come out in summer of next year. I will be insulted if that was, like, this needs to be like a January release if it's 2018. That is... Anywho, I got My Hero Academia for now to hold me over.
Yeah.
We've also started watching Food Wars, which is weird. I love all the cooking stuff in that show, but it's got so many other problems to it. But if you guys want to hear us talk, like I said, this is the first time we've ever done an anime on this, isn't it?
I think so.
I think so too.
I mean, I don't consider Voltron to be an anime, so...
I don't consider that, and I don't consider Samurai Jack to be anime. Heavily anime inspired.
Yes.
Yes. But there is like an actual difference. So, yeah, as I said, this is the first time that we've ever done anime. You guys have asked us to talk about anime. I hope it's everything you wanted. Something tells me we just pissed off all the people who asked us to talk about anime, but if you guys want us to do more anime, let us know, because like I said, we kind of go through highs and lows with anime. Like, we get real hungry for anime, and then we get full, and we're like, we're good for like 6 months. We don't need any more. So while we're on this high, are there any other series you want us to talk about? I've also been kicking around this idea. I want to start a new show on this channel that's basically like the Post Geekout reactions, because it's shocking to me that the Post Geekout reactions are quickly becoming one of the most popular things on this channel. This was just a lazy thing I threw together because I was like, oh god, I want to do something about this thing and I don't know what. Let's just sit on the couch and talk about it. But because it's become so popular, I've been thinking of doing a new show where we basically just check out a series that you guys have told us is really good, like a TV show that you guys want us to watch. And we watch like the first like 3 or 4 episodes, or maybe even do the entire season if we're enjoying it, and then we just come in here and give you our opinions on it. So if you guys want to see that, and you want to see us do some animes for that, because honestly, I was thinking of doing things like Twin Peaks or Hannibal or all these other like big shows that people have talked about. But if you guys want us to do anime for that too, let us know.
Or cartoons.
Or cartoons.
Basically animation in general, so.
But I'm just throwing anime out there because God knows there's a lot of anime out there that you guys want me to talk about that I know nothing about. So yeah, let us know that in the comments down below. But thank you guys very much. If you want to, oh man, we have talked so much about this and it was just so exhausting what we talked about. I can't even do the wrap up here at the end. If you guys want to get in touch with us, you can always contact me on Twitter and Tumblr at Professor Thorgy. Also, you can reach me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Professor Thorgy. And let us know in the comments down below what you thought of Season 2 of Attack on Titan. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Come back next time. Bye.
Bye.